Aloha, Richard Halverson here. This is ITS148, and here it is, yes. And today's January 20th, second video of the semester. So let me share my screen. And here we are, syllabus. We are, we're in chapter 2. Oh, I'm sorry. We're in the second week. Oh, we're doing strings. Okay, right. We did types last time, and so now we're just going to review strings. We are reviewing. So let's go to the textbook. This is all stuff that you've learned before last semester, or let's see. I guess it's possible that this is 148. It's possible you took 128 back before we were starting Python and we were doing visuals. We were doing C#. So for you folks, it would be mostly the syntax issues, which shouldn't be that difficult. But these are the parts of the language, and any language is like this, that sort of make the difference in the language. And we went over types, the basic types that the language supports last video. And strings are very important because you use string processing everywhere, and that's not entirely obvious when you begin programming, because you're doing a lot of input stuff, you know, doing some calculations, printing out some answers, calculating the Celsius from Fahrenheit kind of stuff when you're learning. But when it's in the real world, you're reading in a bunch of text, and you're looking for certain strings in the text, and you begin to work on those kinds of problems, and you really begin to appreciate the how easy it is in Python to do those kinds of things. So we're going to go over string slicing, and Python, I think, is the most advanced language and is features that they give you to do string slicing. So let's go over them. A string is a sequence. It has its characters. It's ordered. You refer to the characters in the sequence by their index. An index is an integer, of course. So if you have a string called that, this will refer to the 6th character, because it starts counting with 0. And now let's say you want to just slice out a portion of the string. Well, you do that this way, where this is your string, and this is where you want to start the slice, and this is one past where you want to end the slice. So that is the index of the first character that you do not want in your slice, if that makes sense. But this, for example, includes the character at index 0, the character at index 1, the character at index 2, but not the character at index 3. Okay, so if this is the word, then you want 0, 1, and 2, but not that second G there, which would be the character, the one at index 3. After a while, you begin to appreciate that also. You know, how many characters does the slice have? Well, it's this minus this. You know, you don't have to think, do I add 1 to it or not, and so on. Anyway, so this makes sure you understand that. If we want, this is the string. We want slice 0 to 22. I mean, 7 to 22, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you know, up to here, 22. So this reinforces that slicing. this. You can use negative numbers too, and that is backwards from the other side. So when you say -2, it means you're starting from the top and you're counting down -1, -2. I think 0, -1, yeah. So -2 is the second to last character. And the character at the end in index is not included in the string result. Okay, so this is not included. Okay. So this helps you understand exactly what those concepts are. 7 and 10. All right. And so this makes sure you understand that. String 03012, it'd be just THE. So make sure you understand that. Okay, this is more. Okay, this is this reminds you of this print. This print method of printing, formatting. You are animal. Okay. So this is the string. This slices out just 4 to 7, actually 4, 5, and 6, 4, 5, and 6, and that is now a string equal to that sliced out string. And this is here you're printing these words, but in place of this here, you print out the value of the variable animal, which is string. Okay, so that's what this is. So this is another way to okay, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to. Oh, I see. Oh, well, that's pretty obvious. Not even mention it. Okay, so here's, it lets you fool around with this, I guess. So 0 through 3 is hey. Okay. Yeah, look at that. So anyway, fool around with that. This is you're inputting a string and you're printing out a blank line. You're extracting out, okay, the first half of the string. Okay, so here's what this is. It starts out at the beginning, okay, and so if you want to start at the beginning, you don't have to put anything there. And if you want it to go all the way to the end, you can just put a colon and then nothing, and that would be the end. But what this is the okay, and this is like an well, okay. So this is the length of the string. Here, let's just run this and see. Okay, so this is going to be the length of the string, and so that's going to be however long the string is. So I'm going to print the length of the string right here. Let's run this again. Oh, here, it actually did print it out. There it is, 30. So this is 30 long. And so, so this is going to be 15, right? 30 divided by 2 is 15. And so this goes from the beginning of the string up to but not including 15. And then this goes from 15 up to the end. And so this is the first 15 characters of the string. indexed 0 through 14. And then this is index 15 all the way up to 30. So that's how this is supposed to show. So anyway, and so these are different ways of slicing a string, of referencing substrings within a string. So this is, you know, from 10 to 19. This is from 10 all the way to the end, but 5 in, not including the 5th one in. This is 8 all the way to the end, and this is beginning all the way to index 23, but not including 23. See, not including 23, and so on. So these are the different ways that you can reference substrings. Okay, now there's this third thing called a stride, and there can be a third parameter in there, and that if you want to skip, if you want to, you know, be periodic about it, if nothing is there, then okay. So this, for example, is starting at the beginning, going to the end, and the stride of 1. So that's just, you know, all these characters. But if you're going to do a stride of 2, then it's you skip every other one. Okay, so this is going to be the 0th one, the 2nd one, the 4th one, the 6th. So that's why you're skipping every other one. And here you're skipping every, you know, you're taking every 3rd one. You're taking 1, skipping 2, taking 1, skipping 2, and that's why it's these characters. You're starting with, in this case, you're starting with character number 1, the first indexed character, and then you're skipping 2, and then you're getting the 4th one, and then skipping 2 and getting the 7th one. So that's the stride. I don't know when you'd ever want to use that, but you know, I'm sure there's times when you want to use it. All right. You can code things by sticking, you know, random characters in between the actual characters of the message. All right, so you can skip through this. Click through this and see these work. Slice of rhyme. You're just supposed to put, are you just supposed to put 4:7? Oh, you're supposed to put, well, is it start index? Oh, I see, end index +1. Because this one has to be the first one. That's not, you know, this one has to be one more than the ending index. Did I do something wrong? Must be integers. Oh, well, what? They are integers. String indexes to me, it looks like they're integers. Do you see this is this. That's an integer. and this is this, and that's an integer, and I'm just adding 1 to the integer. Oh, wait a minute, never mind. It should be a colon here. That's right, it's a colon. It's not, we're not indexing elements of an array. We're using this colon notation thing here, like that. That is my mistake, I bet. Let's see. Oh, okay, 4, 7. Let's see, what is this? The cow jumped over the ones. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this already includes the +1. So I was being too fancy here. I was thinking I had to be smarter than I was. I was being too smart. Okay. So advanced. So I'm gonna sort of buzz through this pretty quickly because it's really better if you just review it. And are there any 9 and 10? There's 2 of those. So we can see what those are. And 10. Okay, well, anyway, let's go through this quickly. Here you can format this, if you're using a character set where all the characters are the same width, then you can format stuff like this. That's really the old days when you used to be able to do that, but they're monospace characters. A courier is one monospace character set, and I think that's what this is here. But you can say that you can say a field width, and then you can also say whether it's left justified or right justified, or whatever. So this looks like it's you're printing out is player name of value. Well, you're printing that out plus well, let's see what this looks like. Okay, so this is the value that it's printing out, and it's going to be printed out taking up 16 spaces. And if there's not enough characters in here to make up 16 spaces, it'll fill the rest up with spaces, 15 positions. So that's why there's extra spaces here all the way up to 16 of them, 0 through 15. And then here it's 8 more. So that's why the last 3 are. And then this is just 24 of these hyphens. So this is going to show the rest of them just like that. So, all right. Yeah, you got to make sure you put the spaces there when you're doing these. And here's aligning text. So this means take up 16 spaces and left print this out, use the 16 spaces total and make it left justified. And this makes it left justified. Where's right justified? Oh, here's right justified. See, it's over on the right. It's right justified. Right justified. So these are all right justified. And these would be centered. Well, it's a good thing they have all 3 of those characters on the keyboard. So see,
Dr. Halverson, when do you use the alignment?
When do you?
Yeah, like in what situation?
I don't know when you would, because this really reminds you of back in the old days when I was a Fortran programmer producing reports, and I had to line stuff up this way. I mean, this to me is just if you want to print out something and you want to make it look like a table and everything, and you want, you know, it's like tab characters, you know, tab characters like on a typewriter. If you want to skip to a particular place and type something there, and skip to another place and type something here, and that's the way you can line up columns and so on. But these days, you know, there's, you know, you just make a table. I mean, you know, and, you know, you wouldn't, and also most type now is not monospaced. It's variable spaced. I mean, a lowercase l, it takes up less width than an uppercase M. But in monospace type, it's not. They all take up the same character width. So this is worth, you know, I mean, this is. So that's a good question. I mean, that's a good point that you bring up, and you may just very well never use this, or you may sometime find a time to use it. If you're ever using, you know, like when we're writing this is one for you. So when we're writing Python programs at the terminal, you know, like when we're writing Python programs that execute on the command line like this, see, these are all monospaced. So if we wanted to make some kind of table, you know, we could. It would be very easy to do it using these things here. So that's all, you know, that's all it is. So why are we spending time on this? Gosh, that's a good question. Let's yeah, this is kind of lame, I guess. Lame. All right, string methods. Okay, so yeah, forget about that stuff. String methods. Now this is back to important stuff. Although they sure give you, okay, so here there's the replace. There is a replace method, and what that does is in a phrase, it'll replace every single instance of ONE with UNO. Okay. So it'll do, you know, it's case, it must be case sensitive. So this one probably doesn't get replaced. But anyway, you can click through that. There's this method, which will find the index of this character in the string. And so this whole thing here is the value 10, value 7 when the string is this, because it's the 7th index. You know, this returns a 0 because it starts at 0. So on, so that's find. This is the same kind of function, except for you can start it later on. And this is useful if you want to start by finding the first one, then the second one, then the third one, so you can have a, you can reset the starting point. This allows you to give an ending point. This searches from the right to the left, and there actually are instances when you use this. I use this, and I use this, and I use this. I don't use this very much. This, if you want to count up the number of instances of this in a string, you know, that's helpful. This in operator, if you want to know if this string is within this string, then this will return a true or false. This is a true or false. These are numbers. The following example carries out a simple guessing game, allowing the user a number of guesses to fill out the complete word. Excuse me. Well, that's nice. That's what's next. Okay, these are other methods that are important that you'll use. Split and join. So it turns it into a list. Common programming task is to break a string down into comprising substrings. And so it must be a list of some substrings. Yeah, see, so here you have a string, and we use this all the time, right? We use it all the time. So you have a string and you want to split on, and when there's nothing there, it means you're splitting on a space. So this is a split, and this is a split, and this is a split. So there's going to be 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it ends up being a list or an array of 4 strings. Here you're using a different split element separator. You're using a hashtag. So this would split based on, where the hashtag is the splitter separator. So this is how you would perhaps split up like a path. Okay, so that's splitting. Joining is you take a list and put it back together again. Where's joining? Joining, you're taking a list and you're joining it up with a separator character into a string. So it's just the opposite. So here, this is like a URL, and the separator is that. So when you join up this table, this list, this is a list, and this is the separator character. It's going to end up looking like this. Why are there spaces here? What? There shouldn't be spaces there. Well, that's not right, is it? Okay, Python. This copy. Okay, I'm gonna do this. There. First that statement, and then this statement. Copy, and then this statement, and then print URL. See, I didn't think so. There's no spaces there. So anyway, I really should give them feedback on that one. But okay. Okay, so this is okay, so this is the way that you'd have to do it if you didn't have this fancy join method, okay? But join methods are in all the languages, so but they're just kind of making a point here. So you have these are strings. This is one string, this is another string, and this is the third string. And if you want to put it together into a sentence, you want to join them all up with nothing in between. this is how you do it. You have a loop for each phrase in this table, in this list of phrases. Just concatenate it onto the sentence here, and then print the sentence out. Here you're joining on a you know, the concatenation or the separator is a nothing, and so it just sticks them all together. So anyway, that's interesting. You can. Oh, replacing separators. Of course, this is how you'd replace separators. There could be times when you might want to do that. All right, so go through those. And so this is string formatting. This is the okay, so yeah, here I added these two sections into this. So string formatting there's different ways that you format strings, and this is you should be aware of all of them because you might see them, but you may decide to have a favorite way of doing this kind of thing where you have to put you have to construct strings to print out or construct something to print out, and you want certain values to be inserted in certain places in the string to complete the sentence and so on. And here's an example of using the %sign. And so like if you're going to print this like this, this is the string that you want to print, but there's a variable here, a parameter, and that's indicated by starting with a %. And this is going to be D is decimal digit or something. Yeah, so it's going to be an integer, I think. So S is a string, D is digits, that's weird, and F is a floating point number, looks like, floating point number. That just puts the $sign in front of it. And there's probably a way to make it so you only want 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. But there is. So these are the different ones. D for integer, D for integer, F for floating point decimal. Substitute for a string. This is hexadecimal, lowercase hexadecimal. When would you ever use that? Well, if you're, and then this is the E notation. So this more about that. Percent. So that's more about that. Here you're doing multiple conversions, so you put the values here in an order, and it's the order here is how they're displayed out, floating point number and in integer number. So nothing new here, nothing new here, nothing new here. Okay. All right, so it's string formatting using this. Allows a parameter to create a string with placeholders that are replaced by values or variables at execution. So the placeholders are held by the curly braces, replacement field. So for example, here we have that, got 3 replacement fields. This is not formatted very well, is it? Is it Firefox? It might be Firefox. Okay, that's better. So You can mess with the order, you know, to confuse the next person that reads your program. So this is the order here. You want cat over here, and you want hat to be here, the 0th one, and you want fat here. The cat and the hat, that's don't fat shame. Fat shame. Inferred position. Okay, so here it's just the order 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2. And here you're naming them. You're actually naming them, see? And so with their names, you can say that put the shape here, put the headwear here, and put the animal here. That's pretty cool. Okay, so that's great. More examples of the same thing. You can do it more often. You can use it more than once. You know, you can use this particular argument more than once. You are right here. All right, so that's using that S string. Here we go. Here is how we can say I only want two digits to the right of the decimal point. I want to make sure when I display out that integer that I'm taking up 3 spaces. Okay. 3 positions. Or no, leading 0. What? Oh yeah, leading 0, 3 digits. All right. So these are all these formatting things. Okay, so now nobody expects you to remember all these right off the top when you are reading these, but you just know about them now. So and you can just search. You know, you're writing, and you know right now you know that they're in chapter 7 of this textbook, but two years from now, when you're writing some Python code and you got to do these formatting things, you know, you're not gonna have that. You're not gonna be able to access the textbook unless you print it out. I think you can print out these textbooks. Maybe you should do that. But you can just search Python formatting, matching code blocks, formatting strings. I don't know, you know, Python format strings, and you might curly brace, and you know, you can see how those work. You can see them this way. Oh, all right. Time is it? Okay, so let's keep moving here. So you know, these are pretty important. Knowing how to print stuff out in dollars and cents is pretty important. So you can go through these. Make sure you go through these. Formatting using dictionaries. So all they mean here is this is the string you're printing. And over here, you have a dictionary, right? A dictionary is curly braces, key value pairs. And the keys are what are put here. That's how you reference them. It's like naming them. Just this is the same as you know, naming the parameters that we saw up here. Here, see, just like this. So here we're using format and parentheses, and we're using equal sign. We're named replacement, whereas in it's very similar to a dictionary where you do it this way, and you're using curly braces, and you're using colons instead of equal signs, and it's still kind of like name replacement. All right, so you can be aware of that. This is an optional lab. You're supposed to write a method that will reverse a list. I don't know. Don't use the reverse function. How about this is a list, lists are mutable. Just hold on, okay. All right, so this class goes to 4:15. Okay, so we can try this. I'll do this one, and then I'll just give you hints on the next two. Okay, so I've got this list that's coming in here. It looks like that, and I'm gonna four letter in letters. I want to create a new list called our list, which equals nothing. Right. And then I'm going to say for in letters. Not work. Can I pop off is there a list method where I can pop off the end of the list? Python list methods. What's pop? Oh, I'm not supposed to use reverse, but I guess I can use pop. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Pop. I'm going to use pop, and I want to pop off the last element of the list. So I'm going to do last element. And so I'm going to take off from the last element of the list, and I'm going to append that onto the new list. Last element equals this is it. No, so I don't want to do this. I want to do does pop remove? Pop actually does remove, right? Removes the item and returns a removed item. Okay, so I'm going to say while the length of the list, I can do that, right? While the length of letters, I'm going to be destroying letters, but that doesn't matter, is greater than 0. So I can length Python length of list is the len function, I'm sure. Len function is confirming. While the length of this letters list is greater than 0, last will be letters pop the last index item of the list, which is going to be the length of letters minus 1. So that's going to be the index of the last item in the list. And that's going to pop it off the list, and it's going to have it be there. And I'm going to append that onto our list. This is a lab, good, so I can see what the results are. And when I'm all done with that, I'm going to return our list. I've destroyed letters because letters is mutable, and I'm messing with it here, but that's okay. It doesn't say I can't do it. So let's see what this does. CBA. Okay, let's try this. All right, well, it seems to work okay. Do I just... Okay, now, because this code is inside of this if block, then then all your code can be imported as a module into some other program. And that's what they're going to do here. And they're going to test to make sure that this thing works on other strings or on other lists other than the one that is defined right here. But so let's see if see what this does here. Really? Okay, so, oh, there's another one here. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, see, it's using this as a module, but let me add a D here. I don't see. Thought it worked for me. I'm going to cheat and see what answer they're looking for. What time is it? Okay. This is 148. This is chapter 7. It's the first reverse list one. And somehow their answer is okay. Well, I'll show you what their answer is. Their answer is this. And the only you know, this just it goes from it starts out, it goes through each letter of letters, starting from the beginning. No. This is I. It starts. This is going to be I value 0 up through the length of it. And here we're referencing the, you know, the starting with the last one back down to the first one. That's what this does. This takes the length of letters and subtracts what I is -1, because it's not going to be the. Anyway, this starts by indexing the last letter of letters, and then it does the next to the last, third to the last, you know, fourth to the last, and so on down to the last one. The only difference I can see that this algorithm does that mine doesn't do is mine destroys letters. So I'm going to say and what happens if I do letters 2? See, the thing is each time this thing executes, it should make this smaller, and it okay. So I'm gonna see what this okay, first make sure it's the same, you know, and then let me submit it. I think it's okay that I have a different. Okay, well, anyway, I'm not gonna solve this problem here because my data sure looks correct. So I'm gonna diagnose this offline. But let's go back to the 2 assignments that you have to do. Okay, so this one is complete the check character function, which has 2 parameters, a string and an index. The function checks the character at that index and returns a string based on the type of character at that location, indicating if the character is a letter, a digit, a white space, or an unknown character. Okay, so a letter, a digit, a white space, or something other than a letter or a digit or a white space. So character index 2 is P, so returns a P. Character 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a space, so returns space. 15 must be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Obviously, it's a digit, but this one is not a digit. This one is not a letter or a digit or white space. And so that's what it's supposed to return. So I have to do some kind of code here. So there must be some sort of testing if a character is and so I don't know what those methods are. So let me find Python test if character is a number, is numeric. Oh, that's for all the characters. Is digit, is alpha. Okay, I'm gonna try those. Let's see. So first I'm gonna do if word index is digit, I'm supposed to print let's see, I'm going to print supposed to, I'm supposed to print character. All right, I'm gonna have to do this. CH equals word index. Okay, so, and then I can do if CH is digit, then print character. I guess I gotta do this character, this thing plus CH plus, and I should be using one of the other string formatting methods that we learned above, but I'm not. Followed by this is a digit. LF character is alpha. Is alpha. And is there a space? Oh, I can test for that separately. Is alpha, and print this. Is a letter. LF CH equals a space. Is a space. Is a white space. Is a white space. Else. Print character is unknown. What's none? I wonder what this none is. Oh, I have to return something. I'm supposed to return something. Yes. I am supposed to return this as a string, aren't I? Well, anyway, you can fix this. Okay, this should be returned. I should be doing something like this instead. So anyway, I've gotten you started. Okay, so what's next? It's 417. Let me just quickly take a look at this. Remove all non-alpha characters. Non-alpha characters. Okay, so you can do the same thing. You can loop, looking at one character at a time, appending it onto a new, creating a new string, looking at each character at a time, and then using this is alpha method to where if it's is alpha, where if this is true, then it, oh, wow, there's a whole bunch of them here. If it's true, then it appends it onto the new string. If it's not true, it does not append it. So you've got something like, and I'm not going to do any of it, but you do have something like for index in range of the length of the string, whatever the string is, input string, whatever that is, you have to read that in. It's an input string, and for in I in the range of it, if input string I is alpha, then you you have new string append on this input, append on input string I. Otherwise, you don't append it. Okay, and you're creating a new string, so you got to initialize that. You got to read in input string. So anyway, that's how I would do it. So anyway, that should take care of chapter 7. And next time we'll go on to the next chapter. Do you have any questions?
I'm doing good. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right. I'll see you.
Okay.
I'll see you later.
Next time. Okay. So have a good weekend and see you next week. Thanks for watching.